Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks for joining me. This morning, I'm working on my rotator cuff exercises and also some wrist strengthening. Those of you who are my students know that I actually tore one of my ligaments in my wrist. So slowly that's getting better. So I'll do some exercises for that today. And I just thought I would share in case there's anyone else who has also experienced a rotator cuff injury. These exercises will help you. Of course, I recommend going to see a physiotherapist. I'm not a physiotherapist, but I have been to a lot of physiotherapy, and I've just put together like my own little routine, and this works for me. So I'm really happy to share this with you. So the equipment that I use, I have ankle weights or wrist weights. These are 2 pounds each. You can just use dumbbells as well or find something heavy at home. And then I have the TheraBands. So the lighter one is yellow, and then I have a green one. I also have a red one, which is the hardest level, but I don't find that necessary for where I'm at with my recovery journey with my rotator cuff. And then not essential, and you can use the TheraBands and just tie a knot, but there's a looped band. Yoga blocks. And if you can grab a towel or a pillow, that would be useful as well. I'm going to go ahead and use a rolled up towel, which I'm just going to grab right now. So I've got my towel here. And you're just going to have that rolled up into a wedge sort of shape. And it's going to stick right underneath our elbow. So first things first, I like to just start by taking a moment to ground and really tune into that area and that injury and send some healing energy there. I find a lot of times when I have an injury, anyone else who is a mover may experience this, but you just get so frustrated and you really get into victim mindset. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in here. Open the mouth, exhale. 2 more times. Inhaling through the nose. And open the mouth, letting go. Letting frustration. One more time. Inhale. Just closing your lips. Find a breath through your nose. And take a minute to do a body scan. And then draw your attention to your areas of injury. And I want you to visualize and imagine being able to move with freedom in this area. See yourself using your body in a variety of movements and not feeling restricted. Send ease, lightness to this area. On your exhale, see if you can just really soften the muscles there. Then just taking one hand to heart, one hand to belly, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, just press down your heart and really create a sense of gratitude for your body, what you do have, what you can do. Might not be able to control injuries that might happen to us. It's a normal part of life, but you can control your mindset and your perspective towards the injury and to the healing journey. Now that we're feeling a little bit more optimistic, positive, healing, let's get into today's movement. So, opening your eyes, I like to start just by taking a range of movement. Let's just start with the wrists, taking the wrists out, start to circle. And when I'm doing this, I'm really focusing on my wrist that was injured and trying to feel how each movement impacts it. With your fists, hold them out, straight arms, peel the fist back towards you, and then peel back the knuckles. Moving nice and slow, my fingertips are reaching for my face, and then curling one knuckle at a time down into a fist. Point your fist down. And continue to do these, going slower than you would like. Just noticing any differences between your left and right sides. And then the next one I want to do for my wrists, I'm bringing the elbows in. The elbows are going to stay by my sides. And I'm going to keep my fingertips together, point the fingertips down. And then I'm going to try and bring the fingertips up and out to the sides, point them to the ceiling, and then point them inside. So taking a circle, but trying to just keep the top of the hand facing up. Try going in the other direction. Takes a lot of focus to really make sure you're keeping those fingers together and you're going as wide as you can. Let's flip the palms up and same thing. Point the fingers down. Try to rotate and lift the fingers up and then bringing them back in. So drawing the biggest circle you can, and your elbows are staying by your sides. They aren't moving. In reverse if you haven't already. And let's just let that go. Next, we're going to start to get into the shoulders. So fingertips to your shoulders. Let's take the elbows out to the side. We're going to reach them up to the sky. My hands are still on my shoulders. And then I'm going to try to kiss the elbows. So continuing this circle motion. And I'm paying attention to the range of motion on my left and my right side. So if there was a pencil on the bottom of my elbow, I'm observing the circle and seeing if it's smooth, if there's any rough edges where it's slightly sticky. Let's reverse this, going the other way. And I'm also noticing that my left shoulder is feeling easier to do this. My right shoulder feels a little bit more blocked, which makes sense. That's the one with the rotator cuff injury. I'm just taking one more. And back to center, elbows touch, fingers together. It's going to get a little warm here. We're going to tick-tock side to side. Try to keep those elbows lifted, heart height or higher. Pressing palm into palm. 5, 4, 3, 2. On the next one, pulsing up. Just trying to build a little heat in the area, turn the muscles on, get some blood flowing. And then the next one, we're going to keep the elbows up high as you can. We separate the arms, and I want you to draw your scapula back. So I'm going to go ahead and turn around so you can see what this looks like. And then we're going to bring the elbows back to touch. So if you take a look at my upper back as I'm doing this, I'm opening up my elbows and I'm drawing my scapula together. So this would be relaxed, and I'm consciously pulling them together. And back forwards, they separate or protract. And here, I'm going to retract. And going nice and slow with these, really focus on which side is stronger or moving first. And you could even film yourself doing this and have a look. I'm sure it will be very useful. This is the last one. Let's hold it here. And keep that squeeze, holding here 4. Keep the ribs drawn in together, 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, let me turn around. So feeling a little bit more warm. So same thing, let's do it without the shoulders though. I mean, without the arms up. Just keep your arms relaxed by your sides. Let the arms be nice and heavy. We're going to retract, shoulder blades together. I'm trying to keep my ribs together so I'm not puffing out to a back bend. Keep that pelvis in neutral and then relax. Draw them back together and relax. Together and relax. Now we're going to do this exercise in cat-cow. So coming down onto your hands and knees, find a neutral position. So same idea, find a neutral where your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. And what we're going to do is pull the scapula together so it feels like you're sinking towards the mat. And then on the exhale, you're going to push the floor away and the scapula will separate. So inhaling, lower. Exhaling, press. Inhaling, lower. Exhaling, press. I'm very aware of how I'm displacing my weight on my hands here, making sure to use my fingers as well as the palm of the hand. And keeping the belly button drawn up and in. So in yoga, that's using our bandhas, our Uddiyana Bandha and our Mula Bandha. And if you're not familiar, the sensation is similar to trying to zip up a pair of high-waisted jeans that are a little small. Drawing the belly up and in so you can get the zipper done up. Let's take one more here and we're going to add on. So this time I'm going to press up, lift my right hand, twist, rotate, and look at my right fingertips and lower down, straight into a dip. And then as I press up, left hand, lowering down, retract, protract, lift right hand, lower down, retract, protract, lift left hand, lower down. So see if you can kind of find a flow between the both sides as you're doing this. And when you're reaching that arm up, take a little notice of which arm can go higher here. For me, it's definitely my right side. And I always prefer twisting in that direction. So yoga definitely is a practice of awareness in your yoga journey, of imbalances or strengths and weaknesses, and being mindful about how you approach that. One more each side. And come back here. Come off your hands, sit back onto your knees, and the next exercise, we're going to use the TheraBand. So I'm taking my rolled up towel, and I'm just going to snug it between my right elbow and right ribs. And I'm going to use my lightest TheraBand. And the exercise we're doing, I want you to first start by retracting the shoulder blades. So shoulders back and down, belly drawn in, zip up those jeans, keeping the ribs knit together. And from here, I'm going to take the right hand out to the right, pull on the TheraBand, and back to center. Left hand, left elbow isn't going to move. And using that rolled up towel on your right elbow really gives you something to sort of press into as you take this external rotation here. And as you're doing this, just tune into what you're feeling is being worked. So right now I'm working my injured side, which is my right side. Let's go for 2 more. 2, and 1. I can really feel that, and release. Take a little breather, roll that out. And let's go to the other side. So I'm putting under my left armpit. And I like to work the injured side and the uninjured side when I have time, first of all, because this can take a whole workout just doing physio exercises. But there are studies that have shown that sometimes it can help in recovery to work the uninjured side to help the injured side heal. I'm not going to directly quote, I can't remember the study, but I do remember reading that in a journal once when I was doing my sports science degree. Also, it's good just in case you end up working one side and getting super strong here, and then the injury happening one day on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and work both sides today. So this time, keeping the right hand still, retract, draw the jeans up, draw that zipper up, and again, we're doing 10 reps. And try not to rush them. I want you to pause as you pull that hand all the way out. And what I notice wants to happen is this right shoulder wants to roll forward. I have to focus on keeping that shoulder blade pulled back in place, because the whole injury started from an impingement of that right shoulder rolling forward, right? So this is what we're working on, keeping them in place. Taking one more and release. So I like to take a break between doing those sides, because even when we're pulling on one side, we're still working the other arm lightly. So this is where I throw in one of my wrist exercises. So with one of my weights, and you could use anything really, anything that's weighted, I put it on my hand, and I'm going to keep that elbow in, and I'm going to lower, point my fingers down and lift up. And this is specific to my injury. This is to help me strengthen again in that area of my wrist where the ligaments are attaching the two bones together, your ulnar bone and radial bone, I think they are. And I'm trying to go slow about it and keep the fingers together. Going a full range of motion. My awesome wrist physiotherapist, Carrie, showed me these. She's amazing. I did not realize how intricate wrist and finger, especially finger injuries, can be. And it's something we need so much in our lives, right? We use it every day. And then the next one I'm going to do, I'm keeping the same, my fingers together, but I'm lowering down and lifting up. And I have to kind of hold on to the weight here, which is fine. If you were using a water bottle or a dumbbell, you can hold on to the weight. The idea is that we're trying to extend and flex the wrist while using a weight. So we're going to do this 2 more times, all of these exercises. So if you want to fast forward, you can fast forward. Otherwise, do them with me. Last one. And release. So I'll do a little less talking now, and we'll just go through with the exercises. Starting on my right side, retract. Three, two, one. Going to the other side. Going for about 10 on each side. So you can count for yourself or just follow along with me. Three, two, one. Release. Find your wrist weight. And last round. Going for 10. And going to the other side. So if you are someone who's got pain in both wrists, you might be working both wrists with weights here. Me, I'm just working on my right wrist. There's a significant difference between my grip strength in my left and right. That was a actual huge injury, so I don't feel the need to work my left wrist right now. But once I am stronger in my right wrist, I will start doing exercises for both as I get back into my handstand practice. Last one. Ooh, I can really feel that. And last set of the wrist exercises. Again, you could be doing both at the same time here if you're someone who has weaker wrists. This is a very specific exercise towards my injury, so it may not be useful to you, but I just thought I would share. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't even turn the key in my door or lift up a frying pan with this hand, so I'm certainly grateful to be back able to use my right hand because I use it for so much. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, you should be feeling that. So the next exercise we're gonna do, you can do this from standing. Just because of my filming situation, I'm gonna do it here from kneeling. So you would step your left foot or left knee, like I'm using, onto the TheraBand, and you're gonna hold the TheraBand. And I've had various physios describe this exercise to me in different ways. The best way I've heard was, imagine you have a sword and you're going to unsheath your sword and hold it up in the air and then bring it back down. So it's a diagonal reach, and as I'm doing this, I'm keeping the ribs in, I'm keeping the length of my spine, and I'm letting my shoulder lift as I lift my hand up. So I recently did another training, and the anatomy and physiology module on this training was amazing, so good. I've done anatomy and physiology courses as part of my bachelor's degree, as part of my yoga training, as part of my massage training, but this was by far the best one. And something I didn't realize I have been doing over the years is every time I lift up, last one here, I would try to retract my shoulder blade down, but that just goes against the natural movement. When you have your hands elevated, the shoulder's trying to elevate. So let's go to the other side, keep it even. It also gives this side a break, so that means, I can give it some rest before I come back to it. And as these get easier, you can always up the level by increasing the resistance of your TheraBand. So going for green and then red, or whatever color coding system your bands at home use. Taking one more. And let's swap it over. I just do these back to back. So again, if you want to fast forward, you can fast forward. Otherwise, complete it with me. Definitely recommend including regular physiotherapy or stability and strengthening exercises, whether that's Pilates, as part of your training, no matter what you're training for. I know this work can sometimes seem boring, but it is so good in keeping a sustainable practice injury-free and being really mindful and aware of any imbalances in your body. I just kind of have to, these days, I plug it in, and it's not always about, this is what I've had to learn over the years on my journey, having a super sweaty, hardcore workout every day. Some days it's about rest and restore, or rehab, or prehab. It could be prehab, prevention exercises. One more on this side. And last round. Okay, here we go. This is also, personally, I think this is great training for handstand or inversions, helping to strengthen the shoulders. Okay, let's go other side. You see me gazing down, and I've got my focus face on. I'm really listening to what I'm feeling, and I'm feeling particularly tired in my left side today. I think it's useful to train both. I think my right side's finally getting stronger. Okay, so that's enough of that exercise. So next I'm going to be moving onto the ground. So I'm just going to adjust my mat so that you will be able to see me. Okay, great. I think you guys are going to be able to see that. So coming down to lie on your mat and have your weights. This can be done without weights as well. And taking your arms out to the side in a 90-degree angle. So kind of like a scarecrow, arms are out. Just going to adjust my mic and move it over here. Keeping your feet and legs and hips grounded down. They're going to stay on the mat here. And you can rest your head on the ground, or you can use your little rolled up towel or pillow to rest your forehead on. And let's start with the retraction. So just drawing the shoulder blades back and down and relax. You're really going to notice the difference here as we're doing this. And then keep the shoulder blades back and down. Keeping your left hand on the ground, we're going to lift our right hand. The right elbow stays on the mat. And lower. Nice and slow. Lifting right hand and lower. So you should really feel this in a precise area, kind of in your right armpit. Just check with that left shoulder. It's not creeping forwards. You're keeping those shoulder blades pulled together, back and down. Last one, right side. Let's go straight to the left side, lifting the left hand up. Side is always so much harder for me. Make sure you're taking a pause at the top. Your elbows are staying down in this exercise. It's just the hand lifting a couple of inches. And the idea is, if this is easy, you can start to add weights. Let's go ahead and try both at the same time. And let's hold, stay lifted, breathe. Still lifting for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, relax. Take a moment here, deep breath in. And out. We're nearly finished. One more breath here. And relax. Okay, so I'm going to use my weights for this one. This time we are going to lift the elbows up. And if you're struggling with this, try placing a ball, a blanket, or a block under your rib cage to help give you some height. So if you're using a block, it would look a little bit like this. And it's just to help lift your chest a bit. And we are going to have the weights, if you're using them, in your hands. I'm just going to hold on to mine and keeping the elbows at 90-90. Inhale, lift, retract, lift the whole arm this time, and lower. Lift, hold, and lower. Make sure that those shoulders aren't just relaxed, they're pulled back and down as you're doing this exercise. So I actually just really added this exercise in. I feel like it's useful for my back bend training, but also for strengthening the back of my shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. Release and relax. So you can repeat that up to 3 times. I'm just going to do it once today. You can always hit pause and continue going. To finish, we're going to stretch. So I'm starting on my injured shoulder, coming onto a side lying fetal position. My knees are stacked, and I'm just going to adjust my mic. I'm taking my right elbow out directly in front of my shoulder, and I take my left hand on top of my right hand and just gently press it down. Find the point of natural resistance without pressing too hard. And from here, you're going to press hand into hand, create some tension between the two hands. Try to keep your right shoulder down. Hold 3, 2, 1, and now relax and let your left hand press your right hand down. Do you see how much further I went down there? Let's do that 2 more times. So creating tension, press hand into hand. And relax, soften. See if that hand can't go a little further. Nice deep breaths here. We're going to do it 1 more time. When you're ready, press hand into hand. And release. Close the eyes and just try to take some deep breaths here. If you need extra, you're going to use a weight. You can place that on top. So this stretch here is working on our internal rotation. Something that I find a lot harder on my right shoulder than my left. Take 1 more breath here. And release. Go ahead and windshield wiper that arm a few times. And we're going to switch over to the other side. So I'm just going to switch on my mat to face the other way so that I can stay facing you guys. And notice that I was using a block to rest my head on. You do not have to. I find it pretty useful to be able to let my head rest. So coming down, stack your knees. Take the left elbow in front of the left shoulder and gently press down on the hand. And then create some internal resistance. Press hand into hand. 3, 2, 1, and soften. Go again. 3, 2, 1, and soften. And again. 3, 2, 1, and release. Close your eyes down Add the extra weight if you need it, and try to soften your jaw, soften your eyebrows, sending your breath into that left shoulder. 3, 2, 1. You can repeat these stretches. You could do it up to 3 times. I think that's a nice amount. I'm going to stop there because I am now going to continue and go into a little workout. I would recommend doing these. If you're in pain, I would try and do it every day. I know it's tedious and it takes a while, but it really helped me. Otherwise, at least 3 times a week, and it can be part of your prehab routine. And I use this as a kind of warm up before I go into like a yoga or Pilates style class. So I just quickly sneak it in, even if I just do one of the exercises, and I just do it 3 times or something, and then include my stretching. Like pick an exercise for every day. Something I would recommend building up to in this is side planks. For me, that would be on my forearm, and then as I get stronger on my wrist, a side plank on my wrist, just to help with the load bearing in that shoulder without sinking into it. So continuing to push the floor away. So I hope you enjoyed that and you found it useful. It was pretty light on the wrist stuff, but I'll probably do a separate video on more wrist strengthening, not specific to injury, but more specific towards building wrist strength for inversions, like your handstand or arm balances. But for today, I just threw in a few that are what I've been including for my specific injury. So let me know if you do have any questions, and I hope these exercises can help you. And you can always share if you know someone else who's struggling with a shoulder impingement or stiff shoulders or shoulder injury. This hopefully will help them too. Thank you.